You're listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. The show that gives pastors and church leaders the clarity they need to protect their people, property, and ministry.
Welcome back to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. I'm your host, Ron Wadley with Insurance for Texans. We help church leaders protect their people and property with wisdom and clarity. In today's episode, we are going to help small churches to find ways to better navigate church insurance. Nelda is a church secretary in Austin. She wears more hats than her job title suggests. She keeps the calendar straight, answers phones, helps with bulletins, and more often than not, she's the one who opens the mail and sees the bills first. A few months ago, Nelda opened the church's insurance renewal. She knew prices on all sorts of things had gone up. Everyone was feeling that. But this was different. The church's insurance premium had jumped significantly, and the coverage looked a whole lot less than last year. Nelda felt overwhelmed. This wasn't just a line item problem. This was a real problem for their small church. Keeping the doors open to their faithful, tight-knit community was becoming more difficult. Every dollar already has an assignment: missions, utilities, staff support, community outreach. There is no excess padding in the church's budget. Nelda didn't need fancy coverage. She just needed to know that the church was protected so that ministry activities could continue. And this story is playing out all over Texas. Small churches are getting hit the hardest by the insurance market shift. They don't have massive reserves. They don't have full-time finance teams, and they don't have room for big mistakes. Here's something that a lot of churches don't understand. Small church insurance is different. Insurance companies don't define small by attendance or heart. They define it by buildings, square footage, roof size, and total property value. In many cases, a church under about 15,000 square feet is considered small by carriers, even if the congregation is active and growing. That classification matters because it affects pricing, eligibility, and available coverage forms. But the challenge is this: small churches need comprehensive protection, and they cannot afford waste. Every dollar has to work. That means the policy has to focus on real risks, not generic packages. For most small Texas churches, there are a few foundational coverages that matter more than anything else. You need property coverage that protects both the building and what's inside it, not just the walls and roof, but the sound equipment, instruments, furniture, computers, and everything you use week to week. And it needs to be written on a replacement cost basis, not something that leaves you short after a loss. You need general liability coverage for the people who walk through your doors: members, visitors, kids, guests. That coverage protects the church from lawsuits when accidents happen on church property. You need directors and officers coverage. Most church decisions are made by volunteers, elders, deacons, finance committee members. This coverage protects them when decisions are questioned, challenged, or misunderstood. And for small churches especially, pastoral liability coverage matters. Pastors in small churches don't just preach, they counsel. They walk with people through grief, marriage trouble, addiction, and crisis. That counseling creates exposure that general liability does not cover. Then there's commercial auto. If the church owns a vehicle, even one, it must be insured properly. Personal auto policies will not respond the way churches expect. The mistake we see far too often is either underinsuring out of fear or overbuying coverage that doesn't fit because no one slowed down to ask the right questions. That's where Nelda finally found help. When she connected with a church insurance specialist at Insurance for Texans, we didn't start with quotes. We took the time to understand how Nelda's church operated so that we could find the most efficient and cost-effective way to cover the church. Small churches don't need cheap insurance. They need someone who knows how to cover their church effectively. That's what True Texas Church Insurance is designed to do. It's not about selling a package. It's about building protection that fits the church you actually have. Nelda didn't just get a better policy. She got clarity, confidence, and peace of mind that the church wasn't one storm or one claim away from crisis. If you serve a small church and feel boxed in by rising insurance costs, you're not alone. Connect with our church insurance team at insurancefortexans.com. And if you want to understand church insurance better, get a free copy of our book, The Promise of Certainty, at thepromiseofcertainty.com. I'm Ron Wadley, and this has been Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. Until next time, remember, small churches can continue to make large impacts with the right protection.
Thanks for listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance. Until next time, remember, insurance isn't just about policies. It's about safeguarding the mission God has called you to lead.